apart. And then scooping the tummy in, and then keep that feeling going as you kind of rolling pin over the rib cage. The shoulders go back and down. The pelvic floor pulls up as well, so you're completely engaged. And make sure you're still breathing. And breathe in as you breathe out, just rotating the head gently, just warming the neck up to one side. Nothing forced, just bring it back through the center. Exhale to the other side. And notice if you've got any sort of tension in there. It can come from anywhere. It can just be you slept awkward. Mine's a bit tight today because I slept a little bit funny. Had a pillow at a jaunty angle. That'll do it. And one more to each side. Breathe in through the center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale. Then the ear comes to the shoulder, leaving the shoulders level. So it's just an isolation. Lengthen the neck. Now the fingers of the opposite hand reaching down to the floor. Get a great stretch there down the levator scapula. You might feel it in the bicep as well, even in the fingers. And then raise the head up, lengthen down the back of the neck, and then drop the ear to the shoulder the other side. And the hand comes down to the floor in the opposite direction, just to increase the intensity of that stretch. Gorgeous. Inhale up through the center. Exhale to the other side again. Arms stretching down. Don't forget the tummy, the ribs, and the pelvic floor. Focus on those at the same time. Great practice for keeping that going. And then rotate the head to look at your armpits. Tuck the chin in so you lengthen down the back of the neck. Well, that is strong tonight. And then relax everything, relax it all off before you then rotate the head back through the center. Lift the back of the neck up over the atlas bone, lower the ear to the shoulder the other side. Stretch the fingers down in that opposite direction, just to increase that stretch. Get that moving down into the bicep and the fingers. And rotate the head down to look at your armpit. Tuck the chin in. And then release it all off. Just relax, bring the head up through the center. Going to go and stabilize the necks now. So I'll come a bit closer. Just going to sit on here actually. So take the heel of your hand. Actually, before we do, keep the shoulders in alignment. I just want to do one more. Keep the shoulders where they are and just gently lower the chin to your chest, but nothing else. Keep the ribs in, keep the tummy in. Stretching the back of the neck. Lovely. And then bring the head back up through the center. Now we're going to stabilization. So have the heel of your hand first on the front. And you're going to press into your forehead with the heel of the hand, but resist that. Push back into the hand with the head. So you've got that resistance. You can feel the muscles down the back of the neck engaging, even slightly around the sides. Holding that for around 8 seconds. And then change sides. Heel of the hand into the side of your head. Pressing the head into the head with the heel of the hand, but push back. And then it starts to engage the muscles on the opposite side of the neck. And where we've lengthened, all we're doing here is stabilizing them in that position. So they kind of you're strengthening the muscles while they're in the lengthened position. Change sides. Heel of the hand on the other side. Press the hand into the head and push back. It's not too hard, it's just so much to give yourself concussion. It is quite a strong, you should feel it in your neck. You might feel it down the same side. And then release. Hand interlace down the back of your head. and push the back of the head into the hands and brace and resist that with your hands. Holding here for about 8 seconds. It helps to strengthen the neck. All right there, Yvonne. Give me a thumbs up. Lower the hands. Is your neck all right, Yvonne? So far? Fab. Good. Right. Come back, stand back there again. Going into shoulders. Shoulder series. Shrugging up first. So inhale, shrug up. Exhale and lower. Inhale, shrug up. Keep scooping everything in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring the blood up by the ears. Lovely. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Going into shoulder rolls. Forward, back, and down. Lovely. This. So nice for the shoulders. And if you're tight, this will sometimes just release everything. Try and keep the rib cage still if you can. So it is just about the shoulders rolling in the shoulder joint and not about the ribs getting involved. And the tummy's still scooped in. The pelvic floor should still be pulled up there. Marvelous. And then we're going to stretch the arms out to the sides of the room into the knuckle curl. So from here, fingers splayed and stretch. I've got the arms in alignment with the body here. And then if I move closer, you'll see I'm just coming in with the knuckles, the end of the knuckles first, and then the next one in. Then the thumb drops in, and then I'm curling that fist in towards my wrist, but I'm leaving the arm long. There, it is long. I tuck my weird elbow under. So I'm getting that stretch down the back of the hands, and then stretch them back out again, slowly. Stretch the fingers, stretch to the sides of the room. And then we'll do that again. Curl the knuckles in. Thumbs come in. The next knuckles come in. The fist comes in. Stretching the back of that hand. Rotate them down now so that the back of your arms is towards the ceiling. You're getting a nice stretch down the back of those hands. And then stretch the fingers back out to the sides. Now flex the palms out to the sides of the room. That's hard to do. They don't want to get there. They don't want to go. We use a mouse a lot. It's quite tricky, this one, because it's kind of an opposite action. But that's really stretchy underneath that wrist. And then lower the arms. Fabulous. Just give a few more shoulder rolls. Lovely. And then I think what we'll do is go into our squat balances. So I'm going to turn sideways for this one. Take a squat down. I've still got the knees hip distance apart. Keep the tummy pulled in, the ribs in, the pelvic floor up. So you're nice and long in that spine there. No, I do need to be back there because of the space in front of me that I need. We're going to hinge forward from the hip flexors here. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you're just going to hinge down, sink a bit lower, but leave the heels on the floor. Still pulling the tummy in. And then come all the way back up. Inhale, exhale, and bend. And then forward squat. Knees need to be over your toes. Have a quick check, make sure you're not doing the knock-kneed Nancy or the Charleston. And then coming back up to standing. Now we're going to go straight into it. So we're not going to bend down straight first. We're going to come straight into that hinge. Pulling that tummy in so you're long and lengthened in that spine. Come back up to standing. Exhale, back in again. Watching that those knees are over the toes each time. Inhale as you stand. Exhale as you hinge. Try not to arch in the lumbar spine. Keep pulling that tummy in up to standing. Adding arms. Exhale. Arms come by ears. Inhale and standing. Exhale, tummy in, ribs in, long down the spine, the arms forming part of that nice line with the spine. Exhale as you bring the arms up. Inhale. On the next one, we're going to stay down in that position. Leave the ribs in, tucked in. Pull the tummy in. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lift the heels off the floor so the knees still over the toes and lower. Keep the height the same. Exhale and lift. Inhale and lower. Keep lifting the arms, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 1 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And then coming back, very strengthening that exercise. Give the legs a bit of a shake. And then we'll go into our balance exercise from there. I'm going to do elegant elephant again. Now, I'm going to be on the mat, so it's super challenging. We did this one last week. I can't remember what day it was. It wasn't Thursday. And I was not well enough. Breathe in. As you breathe out, push the supporting leg into the ground. The other leg just comes up to the side of the knee. And then slide it back down again. That's all we're going to do for now. Switch weight. Inhale. Push that supporting leg into the ground. Change legs. The other leg comes up the side of the knee. Exhale and down. Change weight again. Inhale. Exhale as you lift that leg. Hold it there this time. Scoop the tummy in, the ribs in. Lift the top half of the body away from the bottom half so you're growing longer the whole time. And then we're going to take that leg behind. The body stays in alignment with the leg. So as the leg goes out, you're trying to keep that line, that straight line with the body. And then bring it back in underneath you to the start position. Keep pulling up that muscle above the knee and then slide that leg down. Change weight. Inhale, exhale. Other leg slides up. Watch you're not clawing the toes. As that leg extends behind you, pull the tummy in so you're not arching in the back here. Hips are level, the body just goes in alignment with that leg. Breathe in, bring it all back in, and lower the leg. Change weight. We're going to add on a little bit now. We're going to drop the body lower and lift the leg higher. Yes, I know. Inhale. As you exhale, the leg goes behind. The arms come out to the side. Breathe in, tummy in. As you breathe out, we're going to tip forward and lift the leg at the same time, like a sort of pendulum type effect. Keep lifting that top half away from the bottom half. Don't sink into the hip. Keep the arms level with the shoulders. That hip that's extended is facing the floor. Pulling the knee up above, muscle up above that knee. Breathe in as you slowly and delicately come back up. Leg up to the start, slide it back down, change sides. Last time, how are we getting on? Tummy in, ribs in. Have your arms ready to go out to the sides as we go back. Leg extends behind, belly pulls in, ribs in, arms up to the side. Don't really archy backs. Then see if you can just tip forward as the leg lifts behind. Pulling up that muscle above the knee. No clawed toes. And then breathe in as you come back. Lots of little adjustments are good. Very strengthening for the ankle. And then lower that leg. Whoa. That was a good one. I like that one. I went straight into that one the other day. I didn't warn anyone, just straight into it. A little bit of preparation with this one. Let's do washerwoman and grab our foam rollers. And have a nice roll down. First one, straightforward, roll down, roll up with just ignoring the foam roller. And then we'll do a couple on the knuckles. So we'll have the knuckles on the foam roller, so you've kind of got that bit of extra extension. And then we'll do the next two with the hands flat. But if you aren't particularly tight and you would like the additional stretch, you can do away with the foam roller altogether and just go straight for the floor. Entirely up to you how brave you're feeling. So from here, scoop the tummy in, ribs in, pelvic floor up. Inhale, exhale, drop the chin to the chest. We're peeling down one vertebrae at a time. Got that micro bend in the knees. Keep pulling the tummy in. Don't let go of the tummy. Curling all the way down. Tummy in, tummy in. And just think about the forehead going down between the ankles. I know that there's no way they're going down there, but that's the kind of direction of travel that you want. You're still pulling the tummy in as if there is something in the way that you're having to lean over. Watch where the weight is at this point. Hopefully your weight's evenly spread over both feet and you're not too far forward or back on your feet and your toes aren't clawing. Inhale here. As you exhale, peel up one vertebrae at a time, thinking about every part of the spine. Your weight staying evenly over both legs. Then bring the pubic bone through to the front as soon as you can. Really tucking that tail under so your hands drop towards your thighs, and then you uncurl the spine, straighten the legs. So that really keeps the mobility in the spine and not into the hamstrings. Going again, exhale, we're going to find that foam roller this time, or the floor, whichever works for you. Tummy really pulled in. Imagine there's this monkey bar there, and I'm stretching the spine over it, and the more I pull the tummy in, the more I protect that lower back from overstretching, overextending, which will give you awful tummy, lower back pain. Even through both feet here, find your foam roller or the floor, whichever you're going for, and then I'm going to start with knuckles, but you can go straight with to your flat hands onto your foam roller, up to you. I'm going to go with knuckles for the first one, because I'm always tightening the calves and hamstrings. Inhale, as you exhale, heels count down. Breathe in, as you breathe out, pull up into angry cat. So that same position you were in when you were hanging, but now we can, if you can, straighten those legs, still pulling the tummy in, pull the knees, muscle up above the knees, and then push the hands into the foam roller just to give you that extra stretch in that spine. It's gorgeous. And then come back down. Lovely. Breathe in. As you breathe out, come up. The tummy is the first thing to pull on strong, really engaging the stomach muscles as you straighten the legs, and then push the knuckles into the foam roller. If you want an additional stretch here, you can peel your toes up towards your chin. Oh, good Lord, you really notice that down the back of the calves. Very good. And then come back down. Of course, if you're not masochistic, you wouldn't do that. But from here, I'm going to place the palm of the hands onto the foam roller. Inhale, exhale, heels down. So now I'm going to be a bit tighter. Straighten, curl up into angry cat. If you can, straighten the legs. If you can't, just go as far as you can. Lovely stretch of the calves. You can bring the toes up towards the face if you so desire. I've got mine there and it is killing me. And then coming back down. One more, breathe in, exhale. But this time should be a lot easier. Stretching the spine. It's a total posterior chain exercise. No getting away from it. Stretching the lot. Noticing here where you're very tight, probably for most of us it's in those calves, and then coming back down to the floor. Good Lord. We're coming into a kneeling down position. Oh, all right. That is such a good exercise there. Joking aside, so good. Now, with the kneeling down, I'm going to do spine rotation foam roller, this one, but you can be down here. You could be cross-legged if you would prefer. You don't have to be up kneeling. I don't know why I do. I just prefer this one up, but you could equally sit back down on your heels. Now, the shoulders come back and down. The tummy pulls in, and your ribs tucking right in as well. So they're not arched in the lumbar spine. And all I'm doing is bringing that foam roller as high as I can without lifting the shoulders. And then just bring it down by the thighs and go again. Inhale, exhale, lift up. Keep the belly in. The pelvic floor can still pull up here. And we're just seeing if we can get the inside of the arms, the inside of the elbows level with your ears, roughly. Depends where your ears are, of course. Exhale, lift up. Just take them back a wee bit further, lean. Do watch you don't stick the neck out though. It's really common to see people suddenly jut the chin forward. Just see if you can press the backs of the arms behind you slightly and then come back down. It might just be a smidgen, not even a millimetre, but that's fine, we'll take that. Exhale and back. And then I'm just going to drop that foam roller behind. If you get to there and you get stuck, fine, don't worry, stick with that position. If you can, see if you can tuck it in behind the head. Wherever you happen to land it, leave the hips facing the front, and then we're going to exhale as we rotate the spine to one direction. Leave the hips facing forward. Don't forget we haven't got that much range of movement here. Breathe in through the center. Exhale to the other side. I've got an itchy nose. Can you quite believe it? Breathe in through the center. Exhale. Oh, that's driving me mad. To the other side. Leave the hips facing forward. Inhale. What I like about having the foam roller here is you can tell if that back arm, it stops that back shoulder from creeping further forward, which is cheating, of course, because it's not giving you extra spine rotation. It's just the shoulders doing that work. One more to each side. Breathe in through the center. Exhale. And then back to the center. Bring the foam roller up, keeping it behind the head if you can, and then just bring it in front of you. I'm just going to have a quick scratch off the nose. Good Lord, that was, oh, sorry. Bring the foam roller forward, shoulders back and down. And we're just going to squeeze the glutes here. Scoop the tummy in, the ribs in as well, and then release. And squeeze. And release. If you do need extra cushions, please do grab them. Don't worry about it. Just do what you need to do. Because even though I've got two mats, I know it can be knobbly on the knees. And squeeze. Hold that glute squeeze. Hold the bottom muscle squeeze. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we're going to hinge back. Keep the belly pulled in, the glute squeezed, and we're just going back a little way. And then coming back up. Lower the arms. Inhale, bring the foam roller up. Exhale, hinge back. So you want to stay in that plank, the belly button, pull through to the spine, the pubic bone reaching through to the front, and then coming back up and lower. One. And again, inhale. Squeeze the bottom muscles, shoulders back and down, ribs in, tummy in. Exhale, bring that pubic bone through to the front so you can't possibly arch. And we're just going to hold here for a couple of seconds and then back up. And then come back again. Now take a sit down, leave the foam roller there. Breathe in. As you breathe out, come back, bring the pubic bone through. So pelvic tilt through to a straight line as soon as you can, and then come forward. So let me explain that again. So come back in a hinge, exhale. Then I've released, brought the tailbone down to the heels, leaving the foam roller where it is. I'm breathing in. As you breathe out, you're going to bring the pubic bone towards your chin, so you're curly, curly. Come back up. Soon as you can, see if you can hinge again, and then come straight up. One more. It's tough. Exhale. Sit down. Inhale. Curl up. Exhale. Hinge. And forward. And lower. I know that's quite caney on the thighs. Such a good stretch and strengthen exercise for the thighs. We're going to massage them now. So have your foam roller in front, and I'm just going to put the thighs onto the foam roller. I think most people are quite good with this one now in class. Get the odd person that's really not keen. And we're just going to roll forwards and back over those thighs. Massage out any knots. I can just see Caroline now. Don't forget you can just completely cover your foam roller in your mat. It's a little bit clunky because they, you know, to move it, but it kind of works. You could use anything over it really. So what I'm doing here though is to have my forearms in one position. I'm not moving them then. Pulling the tummy up, lifting the ribs. I'm then just using the strength of the muscles under the armpit, around the shoulder joints, pull the body forward in a plank position. I'm squeezing the bottom muscles and pointing the feet so the body stays dead still, and I'm just rolling over from above the knee up to the lower part of the upper part of the thigh, and then back down again. So we don't need to go over the knee, just going up and down. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Use the muscles under the armpit to pull yourself along. You feel that in the serratus there actually. And then come down off the foam roller. Use your forearms to come up. And we'll just budge that out of the way. Lovely. And then we're going into, I want to do some hip loosening exercises tonight. So I'm going to do half swastika bum rolls. I haven't done them for a while. So sitting up with a foot at either side of the mat or on the outsides of the mats, if you like, you know, the very edge. And sitting up nice and tall. Arms are out to the side. Bring that chest through to the front so you're all lovely and wide in the collarbones. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to just rotate the knees to one side and face the front. Here we go. And then we're going to go to the other side, keeping that spine dead straight the whole way. Exhale. To the other side. And I've got a lovely view of my sofa in the garden that's still waiting to be picked up. Inhale. Got rid of 2. Need the other one to go now. Exhale. Inhale, keeping that spine up the whole way. Really works those hip flexors. Oh, you do travel. If I kept this up for another couple of minutes, I'd be in the front room again. Disappear off the screen. Now we'll stay facing forward. Let me just move myself. I'm in the most awkward position. Love it, and we can bring the arms down. And then tuck that back foot in under your sit bone and we're as close to it as you can. I'm not sitting on it. I've got the bottom down on the floor. And that's quite key. Can you get that sit bone, that cheekbone, both of them on the floor? And it's quite normal not to be able to, particularly on one side. And depends whether this is your good side or bad side. But you're aiming to get them both down. This leg in front, shin is parallel to the mat, but I'm not actually sitting on that back foot, it's just next to it. And then I'm going to lift the hip right up. Hand is going to go on the floor to the right of the other thigh here. And I'm just going to squeeze that bottom muscle and rotate round towards that arm. You can use the back of your hand to go around. There's normally a lot more of a warm-up to this, but we've already warmed the body up in these directions with spine rotation and the hinge sit backs. And then we'll come back round. As you come back round to the front, drop that tailbone back down so you get both sit bones on the floor again. So you make that definition from that movement to this movement where you lift the hip. Hand on the floor, other back of the other hand behind your knee for a bit of traction there. And then growing tall through that spine, squeeze the bottom muscle of the leg that is behind. Squeeze that glute, and then you hopefully will get a bit of a stretch in the front of that hip and that thigh. That's it, and come back down, come to the front, then drop that sit bone down. See if it will go down, and back up again, lift it up. Rotate, hand behind the knee, squeeze that bottom muscle there, rotate. Now place that back hand down flat, and we're just going to push up and take the other arm up over the head, scoop the tummy in, micro bend in the elbow of the arm behind you, and down. Come back to the front, drop the hip down. One more time, going round, going round, pushing up, And then push up onto your shin. Bring the hips through to the front. Feel a stretch from the waist. The front of the waist, the side of the waist, through the cross, the front of the tummy. And back down. Hip bone goes back down. One more time. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Push up onto that back arm and lift the hips through to the front. Very graceful. And down. Stay down. That front leg tucks in underneath you, and you're going to face the side of the room. And drop your tailbone to one side of your heel, to the back side of your heel. So the heel's in front here. So I'm going into pigeon pose. The leg behind is parallel. So the sole of my back foot is to the ceiling, and the hands in front. So I've got this knee directly under my solar plexus here. My bottom is trying to reach for the floor, if that makes sense. But I'm not sitting with that heel underneath the crotch. It's the only way to describe it. I'm sitting to one side of it. So I'm stretching. Hopefully you've got the same stretch as me, which you're stretching the buttock of the leg that's underneath you here bent. And it might be that you need to go lower down to get that stretch. So you can go as low as you feel like going, and it's comfortable and gives you that gorgeous glute stretch here. It's another way to get a glute stretch. And it's pigeon pose. And we're just seeing if we can get that down. Sometimes I don't get the stretch. You do have to be in the right position. But once you get it, you'll feel it. And it's lovely. And the more you can send that sit bone down, the more of a stretch you'll get. Lovely. It's nice. And you're trying to bring the other hip of the leg that's extended, extend that toe away from you a little bit more now. And you're trying to get the hip of that extended leg onto your foot in front of you. So that that keeps your hips parallel. That's the point of that. It keeps your hips facing the mat. And then we're going to unravel. So you can take a sit down onto that buttock. And we're going to just come back up. And we'll swap over legs. Let's just go straight for it, actually. So we'll bring the other leg in front. The shin in alignment with that mat. And I've tucked that leg in behind me, right next to the bottom. I'm not sitting on it. And then I'm going to drop that sit bone down. I'm a wee bit tighter this side. So it's down, but there's less definition, I would say. And it feels like I'm having to push this down this side. Whereas the other side, it's fairly natural. And then lifting that hip up. I'm going to rotate round, got that back hand down. Still got the micro bend in that elbow, so I'm not locking it out. I am on my knuckles because I've got little tiny short arms. And then the back of the other hand goes behind the knee. And then to get that stretch across the front of the quad and the hip, I'm squeezing that back bottom muscle here of that leg that's behind me. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And hopefully then you'll feel that stretch on the hip and the thigh, which is in alignment with the body when you look down. Keep rotating. As you rotate, don't force anything. You're thinking of growing taller rather than going round, and just working with your natural rotation. Keep pulling the tummy in, then slowly come back to the front, then drop that sit bone so you get that definition. Then lift it up again, rotate, hand behind the knee, squeeze the bottom muscle, squeeze the glute, scoop the belly in, long in the spine, come back to the front, drop the hip down and up and round again. And back to the front, drop the tailbone down and up. This time we're going to push up, come round. I've got my flat hand on the floor here, and then I'm going to push right up, arm goes overhead. I'm going to stretch the front of that hip, bring the hips forward, gorgeous stretch along the front of that hip and back down. It's an unusual one. Back down again, two more like that. Keep that back foot tucked in. Push up onto that shin, stretching long. You're thinking of stretching that arm in a straight line from the hip over the body and over the ear here. So I've got my bicep by my ear and then down. It's a play on mermaid, actually. And again, stretch up. Squeeze the bottom muscle. Really get a stretch on the front of those hips. And then down. Fabulous. From here, going round into pigeon pose, I'm going to face the side of the room. The bent knee at the front is already there. What I've got to do is bring that foot in front and then bring this hip over to join the heel of that foot. So that hip here is touching the heel that's in front. Heel to hip. And that keeps your hips where they should be. Oh, a lot tighter this side. I don't even want to go down. Arms, let's go down there. So let's forearms first. And if you want to go down a lot further, and be my guest, you might not be quite as tight as me this evening. Oh, Lord, that is tight. And it's not always, it's just whatever you might have done something that's just made it a bit tighter. It could be just a sitting position, change of chair, anything, gardening, DIY, and just allowing that leg that's behind to caterpillar the toe further away from you. So you increase that stretch. Don't let that hip come away from the heel in front. And then you can take a lie down once it's stretched. That's much better. But you should feel that in the glute, in the bottom muscle of the leg that's bent underneath in front. And then we can rock over onto it and just come up from there. Lovely. Stretch that. If you get that glute stretch in there, it's really, really nice. So let's go into, grab your resistance band, and I'm going to take a hamstring stretch from here and an ITB band stretch as well. So foot goes into the band. It was ages since I've done this. Take the bands back down by the chest, and shoulders and the whole spine connect to the floor. Make sure there are no gaps underneath the shoulder blades. There's no air pockets in there. You're completely imprinted. And then bring the hands back down to the chest. Toes peel back towards your face. And just allowing that. Now, we've quite nicely warmed up this already, actually. I'm still feeling it in that calf. And then point the foot to the ceiling. Then flex again. Remembering to keep that leg straight, and it's better for it to be lower than bent and higher. And then point the foot to the ceiling. I'm going to extend the other leg out straight. Oops, where's it gone? It's got stuck under something. Scoop the tummy in and squeeze the bottom muscle of the leg that's out straight on the floor. So you can keep as much of your lower back down on the floor as it's possible to do. Keep a whole spine connected, stomach pulled in, and ribs sunk down heavy into the mat. Then we're just going to take a circle with that leg. So I'm going out to the side and I'm trying to leave the hips facing the ceiling and keeping the opposite hip down on the floor. As I take that leg out to the side, travel that leg in a circle, goes across the underneath leg, bringing it across the other side, and then holding that leg there. Curl the foot round so the big toe reaches towards the floor. Shoulders connect to the floor, spine down. Leave the hip on the floor. Don't let the hip go over with that leg out to the side. Try and keep that hip down. And I've put the bands in my other hand so I can actually hold that hip on the floor. And then I can bring that leg all the way up to the ceiling. I'm going to go one more time. Trying to keep the opposite hip down. You can hold them in one band if you want to and hold the hip down with the other hand. Taking that leg out to the side, drawing a large circle. Just work with the range of movement that you've got. If it's feeling a bit uncomfortable, stay smaller. These are different to what we normally do. These are bigger, full range circles. Leg comes through, Goes under the underneath leg. The underneath leg stays parallel. Don't let the underneath leg turn out. Roll it into its parallel, knee to ceiling. And then we're going to banana that foot round to the side again. And then continue up to complete the circle. And we're going to go in the other direction. Leg comes across, and then we're going down through that vertical point. Keep the tummy pulled in, the pelvic floor pulled up. Ribs sink heavy, the leg comes out to the side. Rotate the leg out, externally rotate the top of that thigh, and then bring that leg up to the ceiling. This is slow, controlled, methodical movement. And your challenge is, can you keep the torso still? Keeping that hip down here as the leg carries on across through the ITB stretch, all the way down through the center. Squeeze the bottom muscles here, scoop the tummy in, bring that leg out to the side. Keep squeezing the bottom muscles because it really helps with that external rotation. Relax the neck and bring the leg back up to the top, and then bend the knee. Change legs, not what you were expecting, is it? And bring the other leg down. And so we've done quite a bit of hamstring stretching, so it's the hips I want to work through. We can start with a hamstring stretch, so as we did before. No harm in that, and there's always still a bit more to give here. It's very tight in that calf. Leg nice and straight, so it doesn't matter if it's slightly lower, just rather it is straight so that you're really getting to every muscle at the back there. And if it's a bit lower, you can still peel your toes back towards your face just to intensify that stretch. And then we'll go for a point, so we stretch the top of the foot. And then flex again. And then point. Lovely. And then from here, the other leg extends. We're squeezing the bottom muscles, scooping the tummy in. Inhale. As you exhale, that leg comes out to the side. Squeeze the bottom muscles. You're aiming to keep the hips down on the floor, the back of the pelvis down on the floor, both buttocks down on the floor. That leg traveling in a circle. Oops, I've got to bypass the bookshelf. Comes across the other leg. The other leg stays parallel, and that leg comes up to the side. And I'm just bananaing that foot round so the big toe comes to the floor and getting a lovely stretch down the outside of that leg, particularly the calf. And then continue up to the top of that circle. And again, leg dropping down, trying to keep this hip from rolling. Don't let the hip come off. Keep the pelvis from tilting. Keep it level. Leg goes all the way down, crosses over. I'm having to bypass some furniture. Bring that leg across, get that ITB stretch again, hold for a couple of seconds. Oh, that's nice, nice stretch. And then continue up to the ceiling, going in the other direction, going down through the ITB band. Stretch, down to the floor, and then out to the other side, keeping both sits bones on the floor, so you're not lifting the hip up. Try not to contort the spine either to kind of compensate. Try and use the tummy muscles and the pelvic muscles to keep the body nice and level as you do one more revolution all the way up, keeping those shoulders down, spine down, and bring that leg back up to the top and bring it home. Lovely. And we'll take that band off. We're going to go into bridge. Do a little bit of stabilization for the hips now. So bridge planks, and then we'll do some heel lifts, and then we'll do some arm work as well, a little bit of armography, and possibly see how much time we've got left, because there are a couple of things I want to get through. I may do leg extensions, but I do want to get through some more bits. Arms down by your side, palms to ceiling, neck relaxed, and your eye line going along the room. Breathe in. As you breathe out, pushing up through the soles of the feet, the knees reaching away from you. Relax the neck, and you're squeezing the glutes, squeezing the bottom muscles, bringing those hips into a plank position, level with your thighs. The belly is scooped on, the pelvic floor pulled up, and the ribs are nice and heavy. Arms still down by your sides. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the tailbone down. When you go up, make sure the weight doesn't fly onto the outsides of your feet. Weight should be even through the midline of the feet. Inhale. Exhale, push up through the center of the foot. Lift the hips, squeeze the bottom muscles. Relax the neck. Breathe normally when you're up there. If you run out of breath, breathe normally. Breathe in now, bring the arms to the ceiling, and then exhale, bring the tailbone straight back down. Inhale, exhale, pushing up again, soles of the feet, pushing through the ground, squeezing the bottom muscles, arms go overhead, breathe in, breathe out, tailbone goes straight down, keep the ribs closed, don't let the ribs ping out like dinlets. Shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in. Exhale. Push up. Lift the arms back up to the ceiling. Inhale. Lift the heels off the floor. Exhale. Lower, but keep the body lifted. Inhale. Lift the heels through the center of the foot, not through the outside of the little toe. Exhale. Lower the heels. Lift the body. Inhale. Lift. Exhale. Lower. Lift the body. Inhale, lift the heels, exhale, low, keep pulling the tummy in, don't let that go into that arch lower back position, squeeze the bottom muscles. One more, heels lift, exhale, lower the tailbone down, lower the arms down. I'm going to go straight into onto our front now and have a little bit of a back strengthening exercise because I want to go onto the foam roller for core stability and arm series. So onto the front, we've done a little bit of quad stretch. I think we've done a fair bit of quad stretch thinking about it. So I think I want to go straight into triceps press and then swim. Everyone's favorite, not triceps press. Or have it with a weight onto the hands first. Elbows come into your side. Now the tips of your fingers are, if you had a straight line from your shoulder, it would come straight down to the tips of your fingers. So that's what you want there, no further forward than that. You're going to scoop the tummy in and then bring the pubic bone through to the mat, thereby squeezing the bottom muscles really hard. Squeeze the glutes. Toes are just loosely pointed. Breathe in. As you breathe out, rotate the shoulders in a big circle back and down, and bring the elbows down to the floor as you lift the head and shoulders off the floor. Don't let it go into the lower back. So you're scooping that tummy in, the pubic bone pushing into the ground, and then lowering the head and shoulders back down to the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, scoop the tummy in, squeeze the glutes, lift the head and shoulders, elbows tucked into your side, and then reach for the floor with your elbows. Your neck is in line with the spine as well. Keep bringing the elbows to the floor and then lowering back down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, scoop the tummy in, squeeze the glutes. Press gently, lift the head and shoulders, squeeze the bottom muscles. Now from here, take the hands away and bring the hands to your shoulders. Now try and bring the elbows down to the floor and lower back down. You should start to feel this in the back of the armpit. And again, bring the fingers in underneath your shoulders, elbows in, breathe in. As you breathe out, scoop the tummy in, squeeze the bottom muscles, lift the head and shoulders, take the weight off and hold here. Inhale, exhale, breathe in. And then exhale as you lower the elbows to the floor, bring the hands back to the shoulders, and then lower all the way down. Stretch the arms out to the side in a star shape. I'm going to move over. So you want to start with the legs. Excuse me, that just dropped my divider across my leg. No one coming to my rescue. My room divider. Bear with me a second. I'm unprofessional. Bear with me. It's only light. Panic you not. I'm glad that's out of the way. That was going to happen any day. So your arms are spread like a star in front of you. The legs are also the same, not really wide, just sort of wider than your shoulders. Same principle as before. We're pulling the tummy in, really scooping the tummy, really squeezing the glutes there, and pushing that pubic bone into the mat the whole time. They're the main things to remember. But breathe in. As you breathe out, we're going to just lift the arms to start with. Not going to go far. Inhale and then exhale. Now the legs. Breathe in. As you breathe out, scoop the tummy in, lift the legs. Inhale and lower. Arms again. Breathe in. As you breathe out, scoop the tummy in, lift the arms. Try and get the arms level with your ears. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Now the legs. Breathe in. Breathe out. Scoop the tummy in, the pubic bone coming through to the mat. Lift the legs. Keep the legs there now. Breathe in. As you breathe out, the arms lift as well. And then from here, we're going to do opposite arm and leg, touch the floor, come back up. Opposite arm and leg, the other side, touch the floor, come back up. Breathing the whole time, alternate the breath. Breathe out for one arm and leg, breathe in for the other. Keep scooping the tummy in, squeezing the bottom muscles. 2 more. Return into that star shape and then lower the body. Bring the knees up underneath. That's a killer, that one. I really need to do that more because I'm quite low in that upper body. It's because I haven't done it for ages. And then we're just going to stretch the spine in the other direction. And you can have the hands in front here or behind you. Drop them behind if you want that extra stretch. Forehead onto the floor, top of the head onto the floor. Breathe in. As you breathe out, curl the tummy in, and we're coming up under the steam of your stomach muscles. Nothing else. The arms just can be floppy. And then we're going to grab the foam roller and take a slow, controlled roll down onto that. Lovely. Right on the very end. Palms facing in. Arms stretched forward. Shoulders back and down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you're staying in a ball for as long as you can. So bring the pubic bone towards your chin and curl into a ball and leave your fingers trying to reach for your toes and really have that intention as well. Really stretch those fingers forward. The more you do, the more control you will have for this. And then your head hopefully is on the end of your foam roller. And we're just, if not, just caterpillar around till you get there. Pelvis on, head on, scoop the tummy in, and then the lower spine connects to the foam roller and the upper back is imprinted as well. And then we're going to bring right leg up to the ceiling into tabletop and left arm. Now, whether you want to progress this is entirely up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. If you want, you can add both arms off and you can close the eyes as well. Entirely up to you. You can add on weights. You can have a couple of tins of spaghetti, whatever. From here, we're bringing the opposite arm to leg out to the side, level with the shoulder, palm to the ceiling. And then bring it back in with an in-breath. Exhale and lower it back down, level with the shoulder. Your eye line is just resting along the room rather than up at the ceiling. So your neck is beautifully long. And the leg that isn't doing anything needs to stay parallel with the foot flat and as little weight on it as possible, I would say. So you're not leaning on it. And then lower that leg. Change legs, bring the other leg up. Breathe in as you breathe out, opposite arm to leg. Remember, you can leave the other arm on the floor if you want to, but have the palm to the ceiling so you don't use the hand to brace yourself. I've seen that before. Know all those old tricks. Exhale, lower that arm, level with the shoulder. Inhale, up.
Ready.
Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. One more. You can work with your own timing. You don't necessarily have to stick to mine at all. It might be that you take a lot longer to do one than I'm doing. Bring the other leg up, change the leg we first started with, and then it's same arm as leg coming out to the side. And what you're watching for is that leg in the air that's in tabletop doesn't creep across the midline, doesn't creep across the foam roller towards the other leg. So in other words, you're not tilting the body to compensate for the extra weight going out over the edge here. Breathe in as you bring it back up. One more. Lengthen down the back of the neck. Very tempting to look at the hands. And then lower the leg. Change legs. Get yourself stable first. I've got a wonky side. It's going to be one of those weeks. And all that jerking that I'm doing it on this side because this is my worst. It's just a funny night for it tonight. Breathe in as you lower that arm down to the side. Breathe out. That jerking and tweaking and constant adjustment is necessary. It's a necessary function of the nervous system to learn. It's learning what muscles it has to recruit from what you've done before. Take your time.
3, 2, 1.
I'm not usually this unsteady, but I'm quite unsteady tonight, and it just shows you. And I'm doing this one a fair bit at the moment. It's not like I'm not. You can just have a funny old night. You can have a little bit of muscle imbalance, and it can just pull you off balance. And then bring that arm and leg up. Leave the arms in the air. Breathe in and reach for the skies. Stretch the fingers up and then breathe out as you drape them down around the foam roller. Inhale, reach up. Exhale and drape them down. One more. Breathe in. Exhale and drape the arms around. Breathe in here. Exhale. The arms come out to the sides. Sink the ribs down heavy into the foam roller and stretch the fingers out to the sides of the room. Palms are still to the ceiling. And your eye line looking down your nose along the room. And then gather up all that air and bring it back up to the top, both arms. Exhale, out to the side. Imagine you've got resistance that you're pressing against there as you stretch. And then inhale, bring it all back up to the top. Exhale.
3.
Ribs sinking down. So the spine doesn't lift away from the foam roller at all. You've got the pelvic floor pulled up, hopefully. You're scooping the tummy in. I know you didn't, because I didn't either. Scooping it in and sinking the ribs down. Those I do have engaged all the time. It's habit forming. And then keep on going with the arms as you lower down to the floor. Backs of the arms, backs of the hands down there. Keep scooping the tummy in. Pelvic floor can pull up at this stage as well. It's a good time to do it. And the ribs just melding into that foam roller. Getting the maximum stretch out of the chest here that we can. It's lovely just to feel that giving. If you've got tension there, it's wonderful. This is great for any shoulder tension. This will be probably one of the first things I'd say jump on and do if you've got shoulder tension. Tennis elbow even, bicep ache, you know, you get that nervy thing from the shoulder down through the bicep. It's great for that. And then extend the arms to the side and power them back up to the ceiling. The back muscles involved as well. Breathe in at the top, exhale, one arm overhead, the other arm down by your side. Breathe in at the top as they switch over and change. Exhale as you lower, but don't let the ribs extend. Keep them nice and flat. Keep going. Keep thinking about the pelvic floor. Keep thinking about the abdominals. And then bring both up to the ceiling. Exhale, both arms overhead. Extend the arms all the way around to the side of the room, stretching the whole way. When the little fingers hit the hips, breathe in and bring them back up to the top. Exhale, lower them overhead, shoulders down away from the ears, ribs down, and extend them all the way around. One more, breathe in. Exhale, long neck, all the way around the room. And then we can drop the arms down by the sides, slop off the foam roller and lie flat. Oh, that's so nice. And just find that connection again with the floor, with your mat. Wide in that pelvis, more of a connection down the whole spine. Wonderful, everything elongated. Beautiful feeling. I don't want to come off it, but I've got to, because at some point I've got to cook my dinner. And then come around onto the knees. And come up through your roll up. Breathe in. As you breathe out, pull that tummy in, the heels come down, and then we can unfurl. One vertebrae at a time. Hips come through to the front, so your hands drop onto your thighs. And then slowly restack with the spine, one vertebrae at a time. I'm going to come and say hi.